Welcome back to Be Stoic. Today we're diving into a topic that may seem harmless at first, but is actually one of the greatest obstacles to achieving true growth and fulfillment: the comfort zone. Most of us spend a significant part of our lives here, where things feel familiar, safe, and even enjoyable. But according to the Stoic philosophers, the comfort zone is a hidden trap. It's where we lose sight of who we are capable of becoming, where potential fades, and where meaningful experiences are sacrificed for short-term ease. If you've ever felt like life is stagnant, or that you're capable of more, then this video is for you. In this journey, we'll explore how staying comfortable, though enticing, can prevent us from reaching our true potential. The Stoics, who were known for their resilience and wisdom, believed that discomfort is essential for growth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that life's obstacles are what shape us. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, by confronting what we fear, we learn to overcome and grow stronger. So what is the comfort zone exactly? Think of it as an invisible boundary we create in our minds, a place where we're shielded from risks, uncertainty, and the unknown. It's a space where we feel in control and where things are predictable. But this sense of control can be deceptive. When we cling too tightly to the comfortable, we miss out on new opportunities, challenges, and experiences that could push us to evolve and unlock our highest potential. Imagine a warrior who never steps into battle for fear of failure. They might feel safe and avoid potential harm, but they will also never achieve greatness. Epictetus, another key Stoic philosopher, taught that true courage and resilience are forged through hardship. By facing discomfort and embracing uncertainty, we become stronger and more prepared for life's inevitable challenges. If you're ready to take a closer look at why the comfort zone is so dangerous, we'll explore the science behind it, why we gravitate toward it, and how it limits our growth. We'll also draw from the wisdom of Stoic philosophy to discover ways to break free and live a life of purpose, courage, and resilience. So stick with us as we dive deeper into this essential lesson. And if you're here to learn more about how Stoicism can lead to a meaningful, fulfilled life, be sure to subscribe to Be Stoic. Now, let's begin by understanding why comfort feels so tempting and why it can be so difficult to break free from it. Section 1. Why we gravitate toward the comfort zone. Our comfort zone is like a cozy cocoon, and it's no surprise that we gravitate toward it so easily. But what exactly makes it so enticing? Why do we tend to retreat to this safe, familiar space instead of pushing ourselves to explore the unknown? Let's break it down. At a fundamental level, humans are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This is a survival mechanism dating back to our earliest ancestors. In the wild, avoiding risk was often the difference between life and death. By staying within the safety of familiar surroundings and predictable routines, our ancestors maximized their chances of survival. Today, however, we no longer face the same threats, but our brains are still wired to avoid discomfort. Modern life has made it easier to settle into comfort. We have access to a multitude of conveniences, from technology to instant entertainment, which keeps us away from challenges. This tendency isn't necessarily wrong or harmful, but when we allow comfort to dictate our choices, we stagnate. Stoicism teaches us to be cautious of this tendency because it ultimately limits our growth and prevents us from developing inner resilience. The Stoics called this tendency to avoid discomfort prohairesis, or our rational choice. Epictetus taught that true freedom lies in mastering our desires and impulses and not allowing them to control us. When we choose to avoid discomfort or risk, we are allowing our impulses to lead us. Epictetus reminds us that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Staying in our comfort zone may feel like freedom, but in reality, it keeps us trapped by the fear of the unknown. Let's take a practical example. Imagine someone who dreams of starting a business or pursuing a creative passion, yet never takes action because it feels safer to stick to a secure job. This decision may provide immediate security, but it also limits that person's potential to create, innovate, and experience fulfillment. In this scenario, the comfort zone is a mental barrier that holds them back, driven by the fear of failure or rejection. The Stoics would argue that by choosing comfort over growth, we are actually weakening ourselves. When we avoid risk, we miss out on the lessons that come from failure and the resilience that comes from trying again. Seneca spoke about the importance of facing challenges as a means to strengthen the mind and spirit. He argued that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. In other words, avoiding challenges is like avoiding exercise. It may feel easier, but it leaves us weaker in the long run. So, why do we gravitate toward the comfort zone? Because it's the path of least resistance, the easy option. Our minds are conditioned to believe that this path will keep us safe and secure. But Stoicism teaches us that true safety and strength come from challenging ourselves, from stepping out of this familiar territory, and from embracing the discomfort that leads to growth. Section 2. The danger of stagnation: how the comfort zone limits personal growth. One of the greatest risks of staying in our comfort zone is the threat of stagnation. When we choose safety over challenge, familiarity over exploration, we slowly stop growing. The Stoics viewed this as a kind of slow death of our spirit and potential. In Stoic philosophy, growth and self-improvement are essential aspects of a meaningful life. If we refuse to push our boundaries, we risk not only limiting our potential, but also living with regret for never having tried. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and statesman, warned us of the dangers of choosing comfort over challenge. He wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." In other words, when we avoid the difficult path, we make ourselves weaker and less prepared for life's challenges. By not daring to step out of our comfort zone, we allow our fears to grow stronger and our resilience to weaken. To understand this better, let's consider what happens when we avoid growth. Imagine someone who feels comfortable in their job, even if it's not challenging or fulfilling. They might stay in the same position for years because it feels safe, but over time, this lack of challenge can lead to frustration, boredom, and even a sense of wasted potential. In Stoic terms, this person is not living in alignment with their eudaimonia or flourishing because they are not fully realizing their capabilities. The Stoics taught that personal growth requires a willingness to endure discomfort and even failure. To grow, we must learn to see challenges not as barriers, but as stepping stones that allow us to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Let's look at some specific ways that staying in the comfort zone can hinder our growth. 1. Loss of resilience. When we avoid challenges, we miss out on the opportunity to develop resilience. Resilience is like a muscle, it only grows stronger when we use it. By staying comfortable, we rob ourselves of the experiences that would prepare us for future adversity. The Stoics believed that true resilience comes from facing life's hardships. They would argue that avoiding discomfort weakens us, leaving us vulnerable to life's inevitable challenges. 2. Fear of the unknown. The more we stay within our comfort zone, the more we develop a fear of what lies outside it. This fear can paralyze us, keeping us from exploring new opportunities, meeting new people, or taking risks. Epictetus advised that we should confront our fears instead of avoiding them. He believed that by facing the unknown, we free ourselves from the illusions of fear and discover a new sense of freedom. 3. Missed opportunities. Staying in the comfort zone often means turning down opportunities for growth and improvement. Imagine a person who has the chance to travel, take on a new role, or learn a new skill, but declines because it feels uncomfortable. These missed opportunities represent lost moments for growth, self-discovery, and resilience building. Seneca warned that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. When we limit ourselves to what feels comfortable, we may find ourselves craving a sense of purpose and fulfillment that only comes from pushing beyond what we know. 4. Lack of self-discovery. Our comfort zone restricts us to familiar thoughts, routines, and experiences. When we don't step out of this space, we never get to discover new aspects of ourselves. By facing challenges, we learn more about our strengths, weaknesses, values, and priorities. The Stoics believed that self-knowledge is essential to a fulfilled life. By remaining comfortable, we limit the potential for self-discovery and fail to explore the full range of who we are. 5. Unfulfilled potential. Perhaps the most tragic aspect of the comfort zone is that it prevents us from realizing our true potential. Stoic philosophy teaches that we all have a purpose, a unique potential to fulfill. Marcus Aurelius encouraged us to be active in your own rescue, if you care for yourself at all, and do it while you can. We each have a limited time on Earth, and to live meaningfully, we must challenge ourselves to grow into the best versions of ourselves. If we continue to stay in our comfort zone, we may find that life begins to feel routine, uninspired, and even regretful. Many people reach the end of their lives wishing they had been braver, more willing to take risks, or more eager to pursue their dreams. The Stoics would say that this regret is a result of living contrary to our purpose, of not fully engaging with the opportunities for growth that life offers us. In summary, the comfort zone might feel safe, but it ultimately leads to stagnation. When we refuse to challenge ourselves, we miss out on becoming stronger, more resilient, and more self-aware. Seneca reminds us that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. By avoiding challenges, we are unprepared for the opportunities life presents, and in doing so, we limit our own potential. Section 3. The link between comfort and complacency. One of the most insidious dangers of staying in our comfort zone is that it breeds complacency. Over time, what begins as comfort becomes a form of inertia, a passive acceptance of mediocrity. In Stoic philosophy, complacency is seen as a barrier to achieving a virtuous and fulfilling life. The Stoics believed that true purpose and satisfaction arise from striving for improvement, not settling for what is easy or familiar. Complacency happens slowly, almost unnoticed. At first, we might simply avoid discomfort because it feels unnecessary. We tell ourselves that life is fine as it is, that we're doing well enough. But over time, this mindset transforms into a reluctance to change or challenge ourselves in any way. According to the Stoics, complacency is a form of surrender, a decision to stop striving for something higher. In choosing comfort over growth, we choose stagnation over progress. Seneca warned us about this trap, observing that we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. He points out that when we choose comfort over action, we're often succumbing to imagined fears rather than real obstacles. By allowing these fears to hold us back, we become complacent, settling for a life that falls short of our potential. In practical terms, think about someone who has settled into a routine that feels comfortable but lacks challenge. Perhaps they have a stable job, but one that doesn't truly engage their interests or skills. Over time, they become comfortable with this routine, even though it doesn't bring them fulfillment. They stop looking for new opportunities, avoiding any activities that might require learning or growth. Slowly, their ambition fades, replaced by a kind of dull contentment. This is the essence of complacency. For the Stoics, this was a wasted life. Epictetus taught that complacency weakens the spirit because it prevents us from exercising our prohairesis, or moral choice, to pursue excellence. By choosing only what is easy, we deny ourselves the experiences that build character, wisdom, and resilience. Epictetus believed that every day offers us a chance to make choices that align with our true purpose. Complacency, however, blinds us to these opportunities. Here are some ways complacency manifests in our lives. 1. Loss of motivation. When we stay too comfortable, we lose the drive to pursue new goals or learn new skills. The Stoics valued arete, or excellence, as the pursuit of one's highest potential. But complacency dulls this drive, making us feel content with less than we're capable of. Over time, we stop setting goals or striving for improvement, content to stay exactly where we are. 2. Resistance to change. Complacency makes us resistant to change because change is often uncomfortable and requires effort. We might find ourselves clinging to routines, even when they no longer serve us, simply because they're familiar. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that life is constantly changing and evolving. He taught that embracing change is essential for growth. Complacency, on the other hand, keeps us rigid and inflexible, unwilling to adapt or grow. 3. Lack of curiosity. A complacent mind stops asking questions and seeking new knowledge. The Stoics valued wisdom and understanding, believing that curiosity about the world and oneself was essential for personal development. Seneca, who devoted much of his life to philosophical inquiry, saw curiosity as the path to wisdom. But when we become too comfortable, we stop questioning, exploring, or learning. We close ourselves off from the richness of life's experiences. 4. Decline in resilience. When we avoid challenges, we stop developing resilience. The Stoics believed that resilience, our ability to endure hardships, is one of the most valuable qualities a person can possess. By staying in our comfort zone, we lose the chance to strengthen this resilience. The longer we avoid discomfort, the less prepared we are to face life's inevitable difficulties. Complacency weakens us, making us more vulnerable to setbacks and challenges. 5. Unfulfilled potential. The greatest loss of complacency is the loss of potential. When we settle for what is comfortable, we fail to realize our true capabilities. Imagine someone who has a talent or skill but never develops it because it requires time and effort. That potential remains dormant, unfulfilled. The Stoics believed that we are all given certain gifts and that it's our responsibility to cultivate them, to pursue excellence in whatever we do. Complacency robs us of this chance, leaving our talents unused and our purpose unfulfilled. So, how can we overcome complacency? The Stoics would encourage us to cultivate prosoche, or continuous mindfulness. This practice involves actively observing our thoughts, choices, and actions, asking ourselves whether they align with our values and goals. Are we making decisions based on fear of discomfort? Are we avoiding something simply because it feels challenging? By maintaining this awareness, we can catch ourselves before we fall into complacency. The Stoics also practiced daily reflection, a powerful tool to keep ourselves accountable. At the end of each day, reflect on your actions. Did you take on any challenges? Did you shy away from something that could have helped you grow? This habit of reflection helps us recognize when we're settling for less than we're capable of, empowering us to take action. Finally, remember that complacency is a choice to stop striving, to stop growing, and to stop living fully. The Stoics believed that every day is a new opportunity to pursue excellence, and that by embracing discomfort, we enrich our lives. As Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Complacency keeps us enslaved to comfort, but by challenging ourselves, we can reclaim our freedom. Section 4. Understanding fear and inaction in the comfort zone. Fear is one of the most powerful forces keeping us trapped within our comfort zones. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or even fear of the unknown, this emotion can paralyze us, making it hard to take even the smallest steps toward growth. The Stoics, however, viewed fear differently. They saw it as something that could be understood, managed, and ultimately transcended. For the Stoics, fear was not a reason to avoid challenges. Rather, it was an invitation to grow stronger. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, taught that it's not external events themselves that disturb us, but our perception of them. He famously said, Man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. Fear, in this sense, is often an illusion, a product of our own thinking rather than a true representation of reality. By changing our perspective on fear, we can begin to see it not as a barrier, but as an opportunity to build resilience. Let's consider a common example. Imagine someone who has a passion for public speaking, but is terrified of actually speaking in front of others. They might worry about stumbling over their words, being judged, or failing to connect with the audience. These fears are valid, but they are also projections of the mind. The Stoics would advise this person to see these fears as challenges to be overcome, not reasons to retreat. By facing their fear, they would gain confidence and, in time, develop the courage to speak freely and authentically. The Stoics had several teachings to help us understand and manage fear. Here are some of the key insights that can guide us in confronting fear and breaking free from our comfort zones. 1. Fear is a mental construct. According to the Stoics, fear is often a product of our imagination rather than a reflection of reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them, and it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." This means that by reframing our perception, we can overcome the grip of fear. For example, if we fear failure, we can choose to see failure as a teacher rather than a defeat. This mental shift allows us to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity rather than dread. 2. Focus on what you can control. Stoicism teaches that much of what we fear lies outside our control. Epictetus emphasized that true freedom comes from understanding what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, and letting go of the rest. By focusing on what we can control, we reduce the power of fear. For instance, if we fear how others will judge us, we can remind ourselves that their opinions are beyond our control. Instead, we can focus on performing to the best of our ability and embracing the learning process. 3. Practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics believed that by exposing ourselves to discomfort voluntarily, we could build resilience and become less fearful. Seneca advised practicing voluntary discomfort, fasting, exposing oneself to the cold, or living simply for a period to prepare for life's challenges. This exercise teaches us that discomfort, while unpleasant, is not something to fear. Over time, this builds a mental fortitude that helps us face larger challenges with a calmer, more grounded perspective. 4th, challenge your assumptions. Fear often arises from assumptions we make about the future, many of which are exaggerated or untrue. Epictetus advised questioning these assumptions. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By examining our fears, we can see that many of them are based on what-if scenarios that may never happen. For example, if we fear failing at a new venture, we might ask ourselves, what is the worst that could happen? Often we find that the consequences aren't as dire as we initially thought, freeing us to take action. 5. Embrace negative visualization. The Stoics practiced a technique called premeditatio malorum, or negative visualization, where they would imagine the worst possible outcome in any given situation. This might seem counterintuitive, but it helps prepare the mind for potential challenges. By contemplating the worst-case scenario, we realize that even if things don't go as planned, we can endure it. This acceptance reduces the power of fear, giving us the courage to act. For instance, if we fear public speaking, we could imagine scenarios where we forget our words or receive criticism. By visualizing these possibilities, we mentally prepare ourselves to handle them calmly and confidently. 6. Accept that fear is natural. The Stoics recognized that fear is a natural emotion. They did not seek to eliminate it entirely, but to understand and manage it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that it is normal to feel fear. He believed that by acknowledging our fear, rather than avoiding it, we make it less powerful. Fear doesn't mean we're weak. It means we're human. The goal is not to be fearless, but to take action despite our fears. This is true courage. Fear, when left unchecked, leads to inaction. We avoid the things we're afraid of, and over time, this becomes a habit. Inaction then becomes a form of self-protection, a way to stay safe within the boundaries of the comfort zone. But the Stoics warned that inaction is a false security. By avoiding action, we limit our experiences, and we deny ourselves the opportunity to grow. Imagine someone who fears rejection, so they avoid building relationships or pursuing opportunities. This might feel safer in the short term, but it ultimately leads to loneliness and regret. The Stoics would argue that this person has sacrificed potential happiness and growth in exchange for a temporary sense of security. True fulfillment, they would say, comes from taking risks, from engaging fully in life's opportunities, and from learning to overcome the fears that hold us back. In the words of Seneca, "He who is brave is free." To the Stoics, courage was the antidote to fear, and freedom was the reward for those willing to face it. By challenging our fears and embracing action, we unlock a freedom that no comfort zone can offer. This freedom isn't about escaping fear entirely, it's about learning to move forward in spite of it. As we conclude this section, let's remember that fear and inaction are closely linked to our comfort zones. By understanding our fears and choosing to act despite them, we can break free from the limitations we place on ourselves. The Stoics teach us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act regardless of it. When we make this choice, we begin to truly live. Section 5. Practical Stoic exercises to break out of the comfort zone. Now that we've explored how the comfort zone holds us back and the role of fear in keeping us there, let's look at some practical Stoic exercises that can help us break free. These techniques are designed to challenge our attachment to comfort, build resilience, and foster a mindset of courage. By incorporating these exercises into our lives, we can train ourselves to embrace discomfort, viewing it not as a threat, but as a pathway to growth and fulfillment. The Stoics believed that change begins with action, not merely with thoughts. Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius all emphasized the importance of doing, of taking deliberate, disciplined actions that align with our values. Here are some Stoic practices to help you step out of your comfort zone and expand your potential. 1. Voluntary discomfort. The Stoics practiced what they called voluntary discomfort as a way to prepare for life's inevitable challenges. This practice involves intentionally seeking out minor discomforts, allowing us to build resilience and adaptability. Seneca, for example, would periodically live without luxuries, eating simple food and wearing coarse clothing, even though he was a wealthy man. This exercise helped him become less dependent on material comforts and more appreciative of life's essentials. You can incorporate voluntary discomfort into your life by doing things like taking cold showers to build resilience against physical discomfort, fasting or eating a simple meal to challenge dependence on comfort foods, spending time away from technology to resist the urge for constant entertainment. By engaging in voluntary discomfort, we learn to view discomfort as temporary and manageable, which strengthens our ability to face greater challenges. 2. Daily reflection and journaling. Self-reflection is an essential Stoic practice. At the end of each day, the Stoics would review their actions, examining where they succeeded, where they fell short, and how they could improve. This practice, called evening self-examination, helps us recognize when we're avoiding discomfort and choosing the easy path. To start, dedicate a few minutes each evening to ask yourself, did I avoid something today because it felt uncomfortable? Where did I challenge myself? What can I do tomorrow to take one small step out of my comfort zone? Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is essentially his personal journal, filled with reflections and reminders about how to live with courage and purpose. By keeping a daily journal, we can build self-awareness and hold ourselves accountable for avoiding complacency. 3. Negative visualization. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, or negative visualization, as a way to prepare for life's difficulties. This exercise involves imagining potential setbacks or challenges and reflecting on how you would handle them. By visualizing possible negative outcomes, we prepare our minds for adversity and develop resilience. For example, if you're afraid of starting a new project, try imagining the potential challenges. What if you face setbacks? What if you fail? Visualize yourself handling these situations with patience, wisdom, and resilience. This exercise reduces the fear of the unknown and helps us approach challenges with a calm, prepared mindset. Marcus Aurelius used negative visualization to remind himself that each day would bring difficulties. He wrote, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today, I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness.'" By anticipating challenges, he could respond with patience and understanding rather than surprise or frustration. Set small, manageable challenges. One of the biggest obstacles to stepping out of our comfort zone is the fear of taking on too much at once. The Stoics would encourage us to take small, deliberate steps rather than giant leaps. By breaking down larger goals into smaller, manageable challenges, we can build confidence and resilience over time. For instance, if you want to overcome a fear of public speaking, start by speaking up in small group settings. Gradually, work your way to larger audiences. Each small victory builds confidence, making the next step less intimidating. Over time, this method of gradual exposure can help you tackle fears that once seemed insurmountable. Seneca advised approaching challenges in increments. He said, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." By taking things step by step, we avoid overwhelming ourselves and learn to face challenges without unnecessary stress. The view from above. Exercise. This technique, sometimes called the view from above, involves mentally distancing yourself from your situation to gain a broader perspective. By imagining yourself as a small part of the larger universe, you can reduce the intensity of your fears and anxieties. Marcus Aurelius practiced this exercise, reminding himself to view his life within the context of the whole universe. He wrote, "Look at the entire sum of creation and how small a part of it you are." By shifting your perspective, you can see that many of the things you fear are not as significant as they seem. This exercise helps us gain perspective on challenges and see them as temporary moments in a much larger journey. 6. Practicing gratitude for challenges. The Stoics believed that every difficulty was an opportunity to grow. Marcus Aurelius encouraged gratitude for challenges, viewing them as essential for self-improvement. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By practicing gratitude for challenges, we can transform our discomfort into a tool for personal growth. Whenever you encounter a difficulty, pause and reflect on how this experience could help you become stronger or wiser. This shift in mindset helps us welcome discomfort, seeing it as a teacher rather than an enemy. 7. Setting a goal to fail. One unique way to step out of your comfort zone is to set a goal specifically to fail. This may sound counterintuitive, but it's a powerful way to overcome the fear of failure. For instance, you might decide to try something new, knowing there's a good chance it won't work out perfectly. The goal isn't to succeed, but simply to try. By doing this, you get comfortable with failure and learn that it's not something to fear. Over time, this can reduce your anxiety around failure and encourage you to take more risks. The Stoics viewed failure as a part of learning and growth. It's a reminder that true strength lies not in avoiding failure, but in rising after each fall. 8. Practice silence. Finally, the Stoics practiced silence as a way to focus on self-control and self-reflection. In our busy lives, silence can feel uncomfortable, but it is essential for introspection and growth. Practicing moments of silence helps us build patience, humility, and the ability to be alone with our thoughts. By embracing silence, we challenge ourselves to step away from distractions and confront our inner world. This practice encourages clarity and fosters a deeper understanding of our motivations, fears, and values. Seneca taught that silence allows us to turn inward, where true wisdom resides. Each of these Stoic exercises can be a powerful way to step out of your comfort zone and build a mindset of resilience. While they may seem simple, the impact of practicing them consistently is profound. The more you practice these techniques, the more comfortable you'll become with discomfort itself. Remember, stepping out of your comfort zone is not about a single heroic act, but a series of small, consistent actions. The Stoics believed that the path to self-mastery and fulfillment is built on discipline and the courage to challenge oneself daily. By practicing these Stoic exercises, we can free ourselves from the illusions of fear and discover the strength that lies within. Section 6. The rewards of leaving the comfort zone, growth and fulfillment. After exploring the challenges of the comfort zone, the grip of fear, and practical Stoic exercises to overcome it, let's now focus on the rewards waiting for us on the other side. Stepping out of our comfort zone is not an easy journey. It requires courage, resilience, and commitment. However, the rewards that come from embracing discomfort are profound. According to Stoic philosophy, true growth and fulfillment only arise when we dare to face challenges, transcend our fears, and actively pursue self-improvement. The Stoics believed that a life dedicated to self-mastery, resilience, and virtue was the most fulfilling life possible. This journey may be challenging, but it's also transformative. Here are some of the key benefits that come from leaving the comfort zone, with Stoic insights on why these rewards are essential for living a meaningful life. 1. Increased resilience. Resilience, or the ability to bounce back from adversity, is one of the greatest rewards of stepping out of the comfort zone. The Stoics saw resilience as a vital quality for enduring life's inevitable challenges. When we face difficulties head-on, we learn that we're stronger than we thought, and our capacity to endure and overcome grows. Every time we push ourselves beyond what feels comfortable, we build resilience. This resilience doesn't just help us in times of crisis, it becomes a source of inner strength that allows us to remain steady and grounded, no matter what life throws our way. For example, if you've ever pushed yourself to achieve a difficult goal, you may have discovered that setbacks became stepping stones, each one strengthening your determination. This resilience stays with you, helping you face future challenges with a calmer and more composed mindset. 2. Greater self-confidence. Leaving the comfort zone helps us cultivate self-confidence, which comes from repeated exposure to challenges and uncertainty. When we accomplish something that once seemed daunting, we prove to ourselves that we're capable. The Stoics valued self-confidence, not as an ego boost, but as a genuine understanding of our own abilities and limitations. Epictetus taught that true confidence arises from knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. He advised that we should not seek for things to happen the way you want them to, but rather wish that what happens happens the way it happens. Then you will be happy. By stepping out of our comfort zone, we learn to trust ourselves and our capacity to adapt, even when circumstances are difficult. Every small victory outside the comfort zone is a testament to our strength. Over time, this self-confidence empowers us to take on greater challenges, and we begin to see ourselves as resilient, capable individuals. 3. Discovery of new opportunities. When we stay in our comfort zone, our world becomes small, limited to what we already know and feel secure about. However, stepping beyond these boundaries often reveals new opportunities for personal growth, connection, and achievement. The Stoics believed that life is dynamic, constantly offering us chances to evolve and improve. Seneca taught that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. By stepping out of our comfort zone, we position ourselves to encounter new experiences, new people, and new ideas. These encounters can lead to unexpected paths, personal transformation, and even fulfillment beyond what we could have imagined. For example, taking a chance on a new career, learning a new skill, or pursuing a creative project can open doors to opportunities we never anticipated. 4. Enhanced self-understanding. Stepping out of the comfort zone gives us insights into our strengths, weaknesses, and values. The Stoics placed great importance on self-knowledge, believing that understanding oneself was the foundation of a virtuous life. When we face challenges, we gain a clearer sense of who we are, what we're capable of, and what we truly value. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This advice reminds us to take action, as it is through our actions that we come to know ourselves. When we challenge ourselves, we see where we excel and where we struggle. We learn to appreciate our resilience and patience, and we gain a clearer sense of our purpose. This self-understanding is essential for leading a life of integrity and fulfillment. 5. Increased appreciation for life's simple pleasures. The Stoics believed that by experiencing discomfort, we come to appreciate life's simple pleasures more deeply. Seneca often wrote about the value of practicing poverty and discomfort as a way to cultivate gratitude. When we step out of our comfort zone, we become more mindful of life's blessings. After enduring discomfort or hardship, we appreciate the small joys, peace, warmth, good food, and companionship more profoundly. By embracing discomfort, we develop a deeper appreciation for life's comforts, no longer taking them for granted. This practice helps us cultivate a gratitude mindset, enriching our daily experience and allowing us to see the beauty in simplicity. For example, after enduring a difficult workout, we appreciate rest. After spending time alone, we value companionship more. This enhanced appreciation brings a sense of joy and fulfillment to our lives. 6. Development of courage. Courage, according to the Stoics, is one of the highest virtues. It is the quality that allows us to confront fear, adversity, and uncertainty. By stepping out of our comfort zone, we cultivate courage, strengthening our ability to face life's challenges with integrity and resolve. Seneca wrote, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." For the Stoics, courage was not about being fearless, but about facing fear with purpose and determination. Each time we step out of our comfort zone, we strengthen our courage. This courage becomes a guiding force in our lives, enabling us to act in alignment with our values, even when it's uncomfortable or risky. When we face our fears, we liberate ourselves from the constraints of the comfort zone. Courage becomes a source of inner strength that empowers us to live authentically, pursue our dreams, and engage fully in life. 7. A sense of purpose and fulfillment. Ultimately, the greatest reward of leaving the comfort zone is a sense of purpose and fulfillment. The Stoics believed that living a life aligned with one's values, constantly striving for improvement, was the path to true fulfillment. This life requires us to embrace challenges and move beyond comfort, as it is through these experiences that we find meaning. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life." This reminder urges us to live purposefully, to approach each moment with intention. When we step out of our comfort zone, we begin to live with a sense of purpose. We're no longer content to go through the motions. Instead, we seek growth, contribution, and authenticity. Stepping out of the comfort zone allows us to experience life fully, with all its highs and lows. We find fulfillment, not in comfort, but in the pursuit of our potential and in living true to ourselves. This fulfillment is a testament to the power of Stoic wisdom. By embracing discomfort, we unlock a life rich in purpose, resilience, and joy. Leaving the comfort zone can be challenging, but the rewards are immense. The Stoics believe that true happiness is found in the pursuit of virtue and personal growth, not in comfort or security. When we choose to confront our fears, embrace challenges, and push beyond our limits, we unlock our highest potential and discover a life filled with purpose and meaning. As we reach the end of our journey through Stoic philosophy and the dangers of the comfort zone, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored. The comfort zone, while safe and familiar, can ultimately become a trap, a place where potential is stifled, purpose is forgotten, and dreams slowly fade away. The Stoics understood that true fulfillment is not found in avoiding discomfort, but in facing it with courage and resilience. Stepping out of your comfort zone might be intimidating, but with the guidance of Stoic wisdom, it's possible to approach this challenge with a sense of purpose. We've learned that fear, often a product of our own thoughts, can be transformed through practices like negative visualization and voluntary discomfort. By understanding that challenges are opportunities for growth, we can reframe our perspective on discomfort, seeing it as a teacher rather than a threat. The Stoics remind us that each day is an opportunity to grow. By practicing daily reflection, we can keep ourselves accountable and actively pursue a life of resilience, courage, and wisdom. Whether it's setting small, manageable challenges, practicing silence, or embracing voluntary discomfort, these exercises teach us to move beyond fear, build resilience, and cultivate the virtues that Stoicism values. Consider the rewards that await you beyond your comfort zone: increased resilience, greater self-confidence, and a sense of purpose that brings fulfillment to each day. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca each left us with the wisdom that challenges are essential for self-discovery and growth. They teach us that a meaningful life is built not on security and familiarity, but on courage, integrity, and the willingness to face whatever comes our way. So, be Stoic, viewers. As you leave this video, remember that true strength lies not in staying comfortable, but in daring to be uncomfortable. Every challenge, every discomfort, and every failure brings you one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. Embrace the journey of stepping out of your comfort zone. Live each day with courage, with the resilience to endure, and with the wisdom to see every obstacle as a path forward. If this message has inspired you, consider subscribing. Be Stoic. Join us on this path of continuous growth, where we strive to live with purpose, resilience, and wisdom. Together, let's make the Stoic choice to step out of our comfort zones and embrace a life of true fulfillment. Thank you for watching, and remember, the journey beyond comfort is the journey toward your best self. Embrace it, live it, be Stoic.